Okay, welcome back to the channel. Now, while the car's away having the underbody coating done, the primer, the seam sealer, all that sort of thing at the body shop, we want to get on with a few things that are laying around. Now, I didn't know what to do with the fuel tank. Obviously, you can't buy a new fuel tank. I said it a million times, this was never meant to be a nut bolt restoration, but I've gone so far now, my OCD won't let me leave some stuff alone. But I didn't want to get into fully stripping the tank back to bare metal. Now, we had half a tank of fuel in there, so I've drained it out into some jerry cans, which is fine. We drained it out using the drain plugs that you've got here on the new age tank, so that's handy, so you can drain both sides. And I've took all the sender units out, so you have two vent pipes here, which are for the evap system. You have a fuel sender on this side and the fuel sender and fuel pump on this side. Now, I did wonder why it has two, but it's pretty cool because when you read up about it, it takes the reading off of this side and the reading off that side and combines the two signals together to give you the reading on the fuel gauge, because the prop shaft runs underneath the fuel tank, so if you only had a sender on one side, you could have quite a bit of fuel in there, but not on this side, vice versa. So it takes a reading off of both sides. So we've cleaned the tank up. Inside, let me get a torch. To be fair, it's absolutely spotless. I certainly wouldn't be buying another fuel tank, that's for sure. So you have a look in there. There may be the odd little bit of debris that I've done whilst cleaning it, but the tank inside is like brand new. I've seen pictures of tanks that are rusty and not so good, but this one, hard to show with the light in there, but it's, trying to get the phone and the torch, it's like brand new. I have gone over the edges. Now, you've got the rubberized coating on the tank as standard, which is pretty good. A couple of the brackets had pretty much rusted through and they kind of clip on the wiring. There was one there for the wiring, one here for the wiring, and there was one here for a clip that holds the 3 or 4 lines for that come down for the fuel, the feed, the return and the breeder, etc. Now, that was completely rotten, so I just get rid of it. It's a pointless having it on there. I could epoxy a new bit of angle to hold the bracket, which is probably what I'll do, to be fair. I'll just glue something onto there. Now, the rubber coating in places, you can see it's gone a little bit, and we've exposed a few of those where were the worst bits, where it's had a, you know, just something's dinged it maybe. But by no means is it rotten. So there you'd say, oh, there's a bit of pitting. But when you come round, you can't really see it there to look inside. It's absolutely mint in them locations. So managed to get mirrors, like a telescopic mirror in there to look under here to make sure this isn't going to be a hole in the tank. Now, the tank never leaked when it was in the car, never had no issues, etc. So even though I didn't drive it for that long, I know it's good enough that we don't need to be replacing it, and I'm not going to start putting special sealers in there because it didn't leak. So we've gone through all the scabby bits of the rubberized coating on the edge, which is going to be obvious. So I've wire wheeled it up. Now, my quick way to clean this out, because I only drained it this morning, then I was grinding on it sort of 2 hours later. For me, it's easy because I'm in a shop with a massive screw compressor, etc. But I take the airline, which runs at 10 bar, and I literally, after draining the tank of all the fuel, I wedge it in there with that air supply and let that air supply vent the tank, and I left that for probably an hour and a half out there. So no need to do that now. So when you actually smell the tank, because you've got to be really careful of these tanks, if you start grinding near it, the fuel vapour in here, you won't see it, you may be able to smell it, but if you ignite or spark in there, you'll cause a hell of an explosion in a fuel tank. So you've got to be super careful. So I'm lucky that I can run that airline out there, out of my way for an hour and a half, let it vent, and you can barely smell anything in there now. So I was good in that sense. So I've gone round, like I said, cleaned up all the loose edges, so it's still got the rubberised coating, and none of this is loose and chipping off here. Like I said, you've got the odd bit here, but I'm not bothered about that. And I've done exactly the same. If I turn it up with one hand, if I can. Again, rubberised coating, a little bit of the old underseal there, but we've gone round, we've cleaned it all up, so there's no loose flaky bits, and to be fair, it's in pretty good condition. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the Built Hamber Hydrate 80, and I know it's not crazy rusty, but there is bits like that I had to clean up, and I'm going to paint all this bit, all the shiny exposed metal with a Hydrate 80. Not this stuff, but I'm going to do these two. I'm not going to do these two. They're kind of zinc plated, just about still getting away with them, so I won't do them, but I'm going to do this, this, and all round the edge and around the brackets that I cleaned off, and I'll expose that scab there, and any bits I expose I'll do. And then what I'm going to do, I don't know 100% how well it's going to stick, but the plan is to then wash the tank once more with a degreaser or alcohol, clean all the side off, and then I think I'm going to Raptor the tank again. I'll cover it in a couple of coats of the U-Pole Raptor bed liner, and then that'll probably do it, because I don't just want to leave this exposed with the rust treatment on it. I need to sort of paint the edge, but will the Raptor stick to this okay? Time will tell. At the end of the day, the tank's pretty good around those areas. If I've treated the bare metal and the Raptor does kind of pick off or stone chip off, it's not really going to be the end of the world, because it's still got most of the rubber coating around there. So yeah, that is the fuel tank. As said, it is turning into a nut and bolt restoration. Well, I said I didn't want to get into the fuel tank and bare metal in it, because of it's just an epic, and it ain't a nut and bolt resto job, but I just can't help myself. So we've bare metal the tank. I asked a few people online on one of the Subaru pages, is there anything that I could have gone around the edges with that would have mated up with the original rubber? But there was a few suggestions, but deep down I spent another probably 4 hours, maybe 4 hours taking it back to bare metal. So the only thing there's a couple of bits missing on the tank. I said there's 2 cable clips here, so I will, when the tank's done, I think I'll bond on, or I'll bond them on first, then paint over them, replacement clips. But all they do, this one holds a bit of wiring, which goes from here to here, so I can cable tie it, it's no real issue. And this one here should be one of those, so I can make one of those and copy that, so that's no dramas either. So yeah, we've bare metaled the fuel tank. But first off, I was going to knock these down and straighten them, because I thought they were all bent, but I think that's actually how it's meant to be. So I'm not going to do that. If we look at the side, you're actually going to see under the car, the fuel tank is in really good condition. There's no dings, dents, cracks, big rusty bits or anything like that. The only slight, when I mentioned before, and I actually used the Hydrate 80, the little rust patches you could see were very minor. If anything, they looked worse because they were breaking through the coating. So you can see some pitting here that I treated, and now while I wheeled it, I will treat these areas again with a Hydrate 80, and then we're going to have ourselves a good fuel tank. So I've got that there is all done, ready to go. Hence why the video starts off with me saying I'm not doing this and that, and then bang, cut straight to bare metal fuel tank, because I just can't help myself. Now, the hoses here don't need replacing, they just need a clean up. But what I am going to replace, these little spring clips I bought. I couldn't find that size on like import car parts or DL Motorsport or anything like that, so I'm probably looking in the wrong bit, because you must be able to get them. So what I've done was I ordered a multi-pack of 300 different clips, all in various sizes. So alright, they're not OEM Subaru, but they're still spring clips, and I'm going to replace them because they're rusty. And obviously the nuts that held on the top of the senders I'm going to replace. The only thing I'm not going to do, I think, this is the top sender plates. Now, it's a shame they look a bit grotty, but I don't think I'm going to get into trying to paint that. That's had the built Amber Hydrate 80 all over it for where it was a bit rusty. Obviously underneath it's perfect mint, got new fuel pump, blah blah blah. These bits that go in, rubber seals are good. Even this rubber seal for the sender unit over there is good, and that one again treated it with a built Amber Hydrate 80. So I don't think I'm going to bother painting them. They're protected. These have two little covers over the top, and there's also one little bracket which I have just hung up and hand painted. So a couple of little brackets there that go over your vents, and that little bracket there which has two little clips in it. So that's pretty much the fuel tank resto. Now I think I'm going to Raptor it, or do I powder coat it? I'm guessing powder coat will probably be more durable than the Raptor. I don't know yet, we'll see. I'll bring you back in a separate video and show you what we decided to do. But for the minute, everything's there. We'll wait for our new clips, get all that bagged up and kept, make sure the fuel pump and everything's kept away from the dirt. We've got new hoses, the tank's bare metal, ready to decide what to do. And while I had the grinder out, because I took all this off with a not a flappy wheel. I don't know what I've done with it now. I used the cordless Makita grinder, but I've got about 10 batteries and you wear through them really quick. So I use one of them, just screw on like a wire knot wheel. But in the end, I had to go with the plug-in 240 volt with various little wheels. And then I did also use an air die grinder with a little wire wheel in it as well to get to the little niggly bits. I use one of these to get in the little small areas where I couldn't quite get, and underneath the fuel vent and fuel filler necks, them bits just on there, because it's very tight under there, you won't get anything under there. I had to go with a screwdriver and scrape it off, but that is one messy job. So I also definitely advise on Amazon, for like 10-15 quid, get yourself one of the white suits. What one did I go for? DuPont Tyvek 500. It's actually quite good quality. I've got a couple of them from when I was doing the underside of the car with a wire wheel as well, because if you do not, you'll probably see around my neck's a bit black because it's the only bit the suit doesn't get. Use that, and also use a full face mask, because you do not want to be breathing that rubber stuff in. To be honest with you, I'm not sure of the spec of these filters, but the rubber is a heavy debris, so you're not really going to breathe it in as a mist like a paint or a fume. And if you don't have that, you've got to be careful of them bits of wire coming out. Yesterday I done the edges without the mask on, and I got one right in my lip. Super painful. So yeah, that's the fuel tank done. The prop shaft, I said, we wire wheeled off as well. All that's going to do is get a lick of paint, because you can't separate that randomly enough. Every prop I've ever had before, like the Cozzies and stuff like that, you can pull them apart and change the bearings and things, but you can't on that. So the actual UJs are good, or the yokes, whatever you want to call them, they're okay. Everything feels good. It seemed okay in the car, so that's just going to get a lick of primer and a lick of aerosol paint, or bit of Raptor, whatever, you know. So yeah, that is a stripped down fuel tank for a blobeye WRX. So short and sweet video, just showing a few more bits. Kind of want to keep it going while the car's away having the underside done. So yeah, cheers for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like the content, and we'll see you again on the next one.